Aston Martin came into the 2025 season with sky-high expectations, a new state-of-the-art factory, a high-powered engineering team, a legendary driver behind the wheel, a long-term engine partnership with Honda in the pipeline. And yet, with multiple races down, they sit 7th in the Constructors Championship, behind teams with half their budget and none of the hype. With just 10 points on the board, this isn't just underwhelming, it's a crisis. And unlike last year, they can't blame bad luck or strategy blunders. This time, it's clear. The car just isn't fast enough. They're lacking grip, straight line speed, and more worryingly, direction. Let's talk facts. Fernando Alonso, the face of the project and arguably the most experienced driver on the grid, still hasn't scored a single point in 2025. He finished 11th in Japan, a tough, tire-chewing race at Suzuka where he drove smart, managed risk, and extracted everything he could. But that wasn't enough, not even close. Lance Stroll, meanwhile, had one of the worst weekends of his career. He botched both qualifying runs and ended the race dead last, the only driver to be lapped. His 6th place finish in Australia now looks like a one-off, a product of survival more than pace. And the only reason Aston Martin scored points in China was because other drivers were disqualified. That's the kind of stat that hurts, not helps. The writing's on the wall. This is not a competitive car. The AMR 25 is being outpaced by rivals who, on paper, should be miles behind, like the Racing Bulls, who've looked stronger despite being tripped up by poor strategy rather than car performance. So how did we get here? Owner Lawrence Stroll has poured hundreds of millions into building Aston Martin into a title contender. From expanding their Silverstone base to acquiring top engineers and designers, this was supposed to be the big push. The long game. He brought in Adrian Newey, widely regarded as one of the greatest designers in Formula One history. He rebranded the team with a prestige name. He gave his son a permanent seat. He gave Alonso a final shot at greatness. But none of it is working. And now the team is facing pressure on all fronts. Externally, they're getting hammered by media and fans. Internally, things are even worse. According to a report from motorsport.com, Mondays at the Aston Martin factory are miserable. The mood is described as uncomfortable. Employees walk on eggshells, fearing the fallout from another disappointing weekend. Team sources say Stroll doesn't hold back when things go wrong, and things are going very wrong right now. In the modern era of F1, that kind of internal pressure can cripple a team's ability to innovate, experiment, or even just breathe. And if you're Adrian Newey or another top engineer, the last thing you want is to waste time patching up a car that isn't salvageable. That's the reality facing Aston Martin. According to Alonso himself, the AMR 25 isn't just underdeveloped, it's flawed at its core. In a post-race interview, he said, "We're not even fast enough for the top 18, so to be 11th is a bit of a miracle." That's a brutal indictment from a driver who knows how to maximize a car's potential. The car lacks grip, it's bottom tier on straight-line speed, and even with a solid race setup, it can't fight into the top 10. That's not something you fix with a new wing or floor upgrade, that's a full redesign. Which leads to a massive decision. Right now, Aston Martin stands at a critical fork in the road. They have two choices. Option 1, focus on 2025. Bring Newey into the fold, unleash resources, and try to claw back performance mid-season. It would be a huge effort to rescue a car that's fundamentally flawed, but it could win back some credibility, keep Alonso motivated, and make the team look more attractive to top talent. Option 2, abandon 2025. Cut losses, shift all focus and R&D to 2026, the year the new engine regulations take effect. That year will also mark the start of their new power unit partnership with Honda and a total reset of the competitive order. It's a chance to build from the ground up and finally deliver on all that promise. But here's the catch. Going all in on 2026 means letting this season burn. And that's a big risk when your driver lineup includes a veteran nearing retirement and a billionaire's son whose seat is as secure as it is controversial. it's also risky when you're trying to convince Max Verstappen to consider joining your project. Despite their current struggles, Aston Martin's long-term future has potential. Why? 2 words: Honda power. Honda's been on a redemption arc since their rough early days with McLaren. Alonso himself once described their engine as a GP2 engine, a quote that went viral for all the wrong reasons. But things have changed dramatically. At Suzuka, the Honda-powered Red Bull RB21 looked unstoppable. Max Verstappen dominated from start to finish, and the reliability, power, and balance of the engine looked class-leading. Honda Racing President Koji Watanabe recently said, "In 2015, we started from zero. Now we're not starting from zero, so it's a smoother development." That's great news for Aston Martin, who will inherit Honda power in 2026, just as Red Bull shifts to its own in-house engines. Better yet, Verstappen loves Honda. He's openly praised their dedication and professionalism. After his win in Japan, he called their partnership amazing and said, "Together we've won 4 Drivers' Championships and 2 Constructors. It's been unbelievable." So here's the question. Could Aston Martin steal Verstappen from Red Bull? There have been rumors, hints, reports. Some in the paddock think it's crazy. Others say it's already in motion. But one thing's for sure, Verstappen isn't leaving a winning team to drive a backmarker. If Aston Martin looks like a shambles this year, even Adrian Newey and Honda might not be enough to persuade him to make the jump. That's the trap Aston Martin finds itself in. They have to choose. Keep fighting in a losing season to look attractive to stars like Verstappen, or shift their focus entirely to 2026 and risk looking weak in the short term. Either path comes with a cost. One risks Newey's attention and future development. The other risks momentum, morale, and reputation. In F1, standing still means falling behind, and Aston Martin is stuck between rushing forward and falling off the cliff. Right now, the team is bleeding points, burning goodwill, and losing the faith of fans who were promised so much more. Fernando Alonso is publicly calling for drastic improvements. Lawrence Stroll is breathing fire. And the car? It's simply not fast enough. The only hope lies in the future, 2026. New engines, new rules, new opportunities. But to reach that future, they need to survive the now and somehow convince Max Verstappen that they're not just another midfield team with a cool logo and big budget. They need a breakthrough, a turnaround, a plan, or they risk watching everything they've built, the factory, the drivers, the Honda deal, even Newey's input, fade into another failed F1 experiment. What do you think? Should Aston Martin write off this season and aim for 2026 dominance? Or try to salvage something from 2025, no matter the cost? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to F1 Reverse for all the latest news, analysis, and behind-the-scenes breakdowns from the world of Formula One. Until next time, stay safe, stay fast, and may your Mondays be better than Aston Martin's.